What do these pictures have in common? Let's see.
I don't know. Yeah, there is a familiar theme here. I'm very happy to add a feminine touch to this wall.
The Republican National Committee has a new face with a familiar name, Ronna McDaniel.
Your uncle ran for president, so did your grandpa.
Yeah, and my mom ran for Senate, and my dad had run for Attorney General, and I thought, I've got to go get into party politics so I can figure out how to win and get some of my family members across the finish.
Ronna McDaniel took over as chairwoman of the RNC in 2017. We have lost 2018, 2020, 2022, no red wave that never came. We got trounced last night in 2023. And I think that we have to have accountability in our party. For that matter, Ron, if you want to come on stage tonight, you want to look the GOP voters in the eye and tell them you resign, I will yield my time to you. And frankly, look, the people there cheering for losing in the Republican Party. Think about who's moderating this debate. This should be Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, and Elon Musk. We'd have 10 times the viewership, asking questions that GOP primary voters actually care about and bringing more people into our party. Do you think the Democrats, and we've got Kristen Welker here, do you think the Democrats would actually hire Greg Gutfeld to host a Democratic debate? They wouldn't do it. And so the fact of the matter is, Kristen, I'm going to use this time because this is actually about you in the media and the corrupt media establishment. Ask you, the Trump-Russia collusion hoax that you pushed on this network for years, was that real or was that Hillary Clinton made up disinformation? Answer the question. Go. Mr. Ross, this is how we get our country back. We need accountability because this media rigged the 2016 election. They rigged the 2020 election with the Hunter Biden laptop story. And they're going to rig this election.
Your time is up.
Accountability.
There were allegations that were thrown on the stage by one of the candidates in particular, arguing that the Republican Party has a culture of losing. Specifically, Vivek Ramaswamy called for you to resign. Would you like to respond to that?
I'm going to focus on beating Joe Biden. I wish that's what all the candidates did. I'm not running for president. I'm very proud of the fact that under my tenure, we won back the House. We now are getting investigations into the Bidens. I also, as Michigan chair for the first time in 30 years, won a state that Democrats hadn't been in. I'm very proud of the fact that we're going to have staff in 15 states heading into 2024. But, I'll leave other people to attack Republicans. I'm going to focus on Democrats. I will say this. We can't attack each other and win. We need all of us. So if you're taking time to attack another Republican, especially when you're not even running against, maybe let's think about how we talk about the border, fentanyl, crime, Joe Biden, and the things that Americans want to hear about because they're really hurting.
You don't let people lie about you and not let it go unanswered. Let it go unanswered. If somebody's spending $30 million against you and they're lying about you and say you won't give life-saving care for miscarriages or ectopic pregnancy, you better get on TV and tell them that the voters that that's a lie, or they think that's the truth. And our candidates have got to do this. You can walk and chew gum at the same time. You can go and say, this is where I stand, the Democrats are lying, and now let's talk about crime, schools, border, fentanyl, and national security.
I just want to clarify one quick thing, though. The RNC had no involvement in these elections in Virginia per Governor Youngkin's request?
We were told in December they didn't need us, that they had all the money and they were good. So that was the conversation.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
We'll be following up on that to find out what's that all about. That's the first time I've heard that.
So this year, Speaker Gilbert once again asked me if we could get another stipend. So I suggested to him, rather than me going to Chairwoman McDaniel directly, that simply he and I go up and have a meeting with the staff, because she's simply going to hand that off to the staff anyway, and time was of the essence. He was in D.C. a certain day. I went with him. We sat down with them. They explained to us that being a down year, it is difficult for them to fundraise because it's not a down year here, but it's a down year everywhere else. And so they declined the request at that point. In the open media, I have read that...
I just want to be clear, because Democrats outspent Republicans in this election by $8 million, and most of that was spent on deceitful ads that clearly worked.
Of course.
They clearly worked. I just want to be clear. Had Ronna McDaniel offered money to you and the Republican Party of Virginia in the final months of this campaign, you would have accepted it?
Oh, most certainly. Now, we would have What we asked for was a matching amount to what the DNC provided to the Democratic Party of Virginia. And the reason we did that, more than anything, it is a matter of perception. It is a matter of the optics of it.
Yeah.
And that's why I requested, would $1 million have made a difference? We can debate that till kingdom come.
Oh,
But
wouldn't it
nonetheless-
hurt? Especially considering if you really look at how narrow some of these elections were on the important those state Senate and House of Delegate seats that ended up making the difference, it was a very small number of votes.
Yeah, the idea. What is the RNC doing? Ronna McDaniel, who hasn't won an election since 2017, gives it to the fake news media. I mean, honestly, you don't have to be a fan of Vivek's, but he took it to them at the beginning of that debate, demanded they answer the question on why they propagated the Russia hoax for 7 years, and that cretin, Welker, just sit there like the Joker with this rictus grin, just a clown show.
It really was. So let's get down to the real business of what Vivek Ramaswamy was saying, was that we need new leadership inside the Republican Party. Would you agree with that statement, Dr. G?
It's more serious than that. I don't think it can be fixed with just new leadership. We know Ronna McDaniel doesn't give a crap about anything to do with victory. She still gets paid, flies around on the private jets, gets her $100,000 worth of makeup and hair. She doesn't care. She doesn't. She gets the same amount of money whether she wins or she loses. And the same with Mitch McConnell, who's totally in bed with the establishment, and he is the total apotheosis of what it means to be a rhino. No. We have, Dan Bongino did this amazing analysis of what the GOP is today after the elections this week, and he said, we've got two parties. We've got the establishment Republican Party that all Republicans hate. Republican voters hate the party. Yeah. And then we've got MAGA and the president, who they love. This is the perverse situation.